Distinguished members of the ECOSOC, the Arab region is not alone in facing steep challenges to achieve the SDGs by 2030. The repercussions of COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine have been felt deeply in the region and elsewhere, and are slowing down progress. Nonetheless, the Arab region is making progress on the SDG, and the efforts of various stakeholders in the region, including governments, are to be recognized and commended. For example, access to internet services is on the rise since 2015. Progress is achieved on neonatal and under 5 mortality rates. Access to electricity and clean fuel has significantly improved in both urban and rural areas, as well as access to clean water and sanitation services since 2015. The number of seats held by women in parliament is steadily on the rise. The region is closing the gender gap in education. But of course, the challenges remain serious. 7 years into 2030 agenda, public debt is growing, remaining higher than GDP growth rate. The overall burden is $1.5 trillion, equivalent to 55% of GDP. Meanwhile, the fiscal space continues to shrink. At the same time, the demand for quality social services and the expansion of social protection systems continue to grow. Only 35% of people in the region are covered by a social protection scheme. Inequality, unfortunately, is on the rise. This is more critical, given the unemployment rate in the region is the highest in the world, especially for women and youth. All of the above, while our region continues to suffer disproportionately from climate change, and 90% of people live in water-scarce countries. At ESCWA, we are working on multiple fronts to support member states as they address these challenges. Our social expenditure monitor is a powerful, smart spending interactive policy tool to help countries and the UN country teams understand dynamics of social spending and policy optimization measures needed to improve efficiency and impact. We are working to support governments in optimizing borrowing strategies and are convening an Arab debt management group. We continue to push the Climate SDG Debt Swap Donor Nexus initiative to support countries in financing climate action and accelerating SDG implementation, and to push integrated water management and to produce the knowledge needed for climate adaptation and mitigation. And we are pushing the discussion on inequality through JSUR initiative and targeted support to SMEs and innovative solutions, including new projects on regional creative industries and on digitization that have the potential to capitalize on the region's greatest resources, its young people. To end, our region needs action, hope, and opportunities. In the next 7 years, we all must work together and harder to deliver on the 2030 agenda.